Sportsman. You in the mix, rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the sports mix with Kenny, news and knowledge. A lot of dope techniques make kids become scholars. You need to tune in, a lot of hot topics. When it comes to sports, Kenny sound like a prophet. You in the mix, man, you in the mix. Plus he keep you up on all the hottest trends. Plus you never know who he has as a guest. So grab a cold one, man, and just tune in. You in the mix, man, you in the mix. You in the mix, sports mix. You in the mix, rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the mix, man, you in the mix. You in the mix, sports mix. You in the mix, you rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty.
Another edition of the world famous sports mix. Big Kenny in the building. Got my man with me, Dino. What's up, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you feeling today, brother?
Oh man, it's just Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, daylight savings time. Feel like it's about 12 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah. That always. I still haven't been able to wrap my mind around that though.
Yeah.
This whole thing of shifting the hour back and forth.
Yeah. I don't get it. I know riding home. Now you riding home from work and the sun is already almost down.
Mm-hmm.
It just don't even seem right.
It's weird.
It don't seem right.
Yeah. It throws you off, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely throwed off a little bit.
Yeah.
But we here, back again for our weekly Ravens chat.
Yeah.
And other sports topics as well. But the boys in Baltimore, they got a 2-game winning streak. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, who would have thought that the little old Ravens, the 1-4, 1-5,
right,
one in something,
right?
Oh my God, here we go. Alrighty, man.
Yeah.
All right, God. Alrighty, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Steelers got a winning streak.
One game was
One game. They beat the Colts.
Yeah, they beat. Yeah. Congratulations, I guess.
Yeah, congratulations to the Steelers.
Yeah, you still gotta see us twice. I can't wait for them games.
Yeah, it ain't over.
It ain't by a long shot.
Yeah, it's not
by
over.
a long shot. And even the title, on the show today is do the Ravens still have, what it take? Can they make a push?
Right.
Can they make a playoff push? You know what I'm saying? And we always the sun always shining over here. The sun shines over here. We look at the team a little closer than most.
Mm-hmm.
We're not like these these national guys or these fair weather fans,
that's right.
Have already sold their season tickets and
right.
They already looking at the draft boards and all this craziness.
Right.
Not here.
They done fired everybody.
Yeah. If coaches fired, they need to sell the team. All that kind of stuff. Not here.
Pissed at the Scotty.
Yeah. So, we talked briefly about the game last Monday. Sunday's game last week. We talked briefly about it. We had a special guest joined us last week, which superseded anything else that we need to talk about. That was a conversation that needed to be had.
Absolutely.
With one of our favorites.
No question.
Superman.
Yes.
Terry Nolan Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Terry Nolan. Let me give his proper credentials.
Get it straight now.
Coach Terry Nolan was on with us, man, and Terry told me he only had like 30 or 40 minutes.
But then I tried to nip it in the bud a little bit. At the end, I was like, yeah, I know Terry got to go, man, because Terry, that type dude that's on top. You know, he got
it was
kids, his wife. He's fully invested, fully participating. You can't even begin to muster the word "it be dad" when you're talking about Terry now. You can't even form your mouth.
No, sir.
So I was trying to cut it off a little bit.
Hey, I think he would have kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it be, man. You know, the flow just took over.
Yeah.
You know how that go.
Yeah, he hung in there.
When the rhythm hits you,
that's what
ain't nothing you can do about it.
Pretty much.
What they say, the basket look like an ocean.
Yeah, that's what they say, man.
Can't miss.
Can't miss. Get into the zone.
In that zone, you can't miss.
You know, and I don't know. I've been in the zone before. You've been in the zone before. We done talked about that. I just wish everybody had an opportunity to experience that.
Yeah, that's a hell of a feeling.
A hell of a feeling, man.
Feeling, and it comes in different areas too. It ain't just basketball.
Yeah, it comes in different areas, man, and you don't know when it's coming.
Exactly. or how it got there,
or how to keep it.
Right. The one thing you do know is you don't want it to stop.
You don't want it to stop.
You don't want it to end.
No, you don't want it to end.
You know, once it's over,
exactly,
it's over, and there's no switch on it. You can't flip it back on. It just you got to ride it out. And once it's done, and then you kind of come back to reality for a minute.
Right, and you hope that it come again.
Yeah, but that's kind of where we was at last week.
Yeah.
You know, in the zone like that, man, just kind of reminiscing and chopping it up with our guy.
It was a beautiful thing.
Definitely, man. Definitely, it was. You know, when the first time he came on, you couldn't make it.
That one, yeah.
You know, and I said I got to run that back. You know, I got to run it back. So I hit him up a couple of weeks ago just to see what his schedule was like.
Okay, yeah.
And he told me, you know, he could make it work.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, well, we're gonna make it work.
Okay.
We're gonna make it work, man. So shout out to Terry once again, man. Appreciate you. That was good stuff last week. But the Ravens won 2 games in a row. You know, beat up on the Dolphins the first week, right? Or last week. Thursday night they beat the Dolphins.
On Thursday night.
Thursday night with Lamar, the return of Lamar Jackson. Action Jackson was back in the building.
He was back in the building.
You know, he was one short of the Jackson 5.
Right.
You know, Jermaine had left the group.
Jermaine had left, yeah.
You know, and they hadn't picked up Randy yet.
Randy hadn't signed the paper yet, right?
You know, that was when they were switching over to CVS Records.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Just the 4 of them went.
Was when Bobby left, you know. And,
yeah,
Johnny hadn't signed yet. If it isn't love. It was just 4 of them.
Yeah, just 4 of them. Yeah, that was a rough time for New Edition too.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember them years too.
Yeah, that was
and Bobby was over there doing his thing.
Bobby was killing it, man. You know it hurt.
I know it hurt him. I know it hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
And then once they put that, and believe it or not, I just saw the little mini series they had.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, about 3-4 weeks ago. I looked at it.
Yeah.
I never knew all that stuff was going on.
Yeah, they had a hell of a story, man.
That's crazy, man.
And still killing the game.
Still killing the game. Man.
As a matter of fact, they great go back on tour.
I heard.
I think I might have to check this one.
Yeah, I think was it Tony Braxton gonna be with him?
Yeah, Tony Braxton and Boys the Men.
Who else?
Boys the Men.
Oh yeah, that's worth seeing.
And from what I understand, they supposed to like all be out there together.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Taking turns singing, you know.
Yeah, that should be nice.
That's gonna be something nice, man.
Great idea.
Yeah, you know what? I think that might be the new wave of concerts.
It should be that way. I like that.
I think the Brandy and Monica concert is that way too.
Okay.
that the two of them are on stage together.
Yeah.
Kind of going back and forth.
I hope they don't come to blows. I heard they got a checkered past.
Yeah. I think they worked that out.
They didn't work that out.
Yeah, they worked that out. I heard they be hugging and everything on stage.
Yeah, that money will make you work things out.
You're right. You're right. That check big enough, you would definitely have some act right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, ain't no fucking this money up.
I heard they added Maya to the tour. So that's a pretty tough tour because all of them came out around the same
time.
Only one missing is Aaliyah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Maya might have been like a year or two after them.
Mm-hmm.
She came a little later, but she was still in that same little time frame.
Yeah.
Hey, Maya still.
She still got it.
She still,
looking good.
I don't want to turn the show into that.
No, but she's still prime time, man.
Yeah, but we are men.
Yeah.
I mean, we are men with even I got glasses on, but I see very well.
No question.
Hey, Maya, if you're watching, just saying hello.
That's it.
Just saying hello. What's up, Brandy and Monica? Hey, what's up to y'all? But hey, Maya.
Right. That's right. Right.
Kelly Rowland on the tour with them too.
And Kelly Rowland.
Yeah, Kelly Rowland on the tour with them too. I got a friend of mine went to the show Sunday.
Okay.
They was here Sunday.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
And she said Kelly gave a real good show.
Okay.
A catalog a little limited.
True.
So she dug into some of the Destiny Child stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And but she still performed well.
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
And she looked gorgeous.
Oh yeah, always do, man.
Yeah.
Kelly fine.
Yeah. Oh, as wine.
Yes.
Wine.
No doubt about that, man. And for quite a while, man, she was like, the Scottie Pippen of the industry.
Yeah. Don't let Scotty hear that shit.
Oh, right. Scotty.
That motherfucker think he was Mike.
Right. That's what he think now.
Yeah, he think he was Mike.
What do you want to be remembered as? The greatest of all time.
Yeah. Pipe down, Scotty.
Okay, Scotty.
Get your wife under control, buddy.
Oh man,
she's still in the league too.
Damn, boy, that's below the belt, boy. Damn. He down on his knees right now. The ref has sent you to the neutral corner. Oh wait a minute, he deducted points from you.
My bad. My bad, Scotty.
Damn, then you hit him when he was down, talking about she's still in the league.
my bad, Scotty. I know that. I know.
Yeah, we love you, Scotty.
I know Michael got y'all boys all messed up in the head.
All messed up.
What was it? 5 years since the Last Dance came out?
Had to be, man. What, 2018, 19 or something? I don't know.
2020.
2020
right, pandemic.
Yeah, pandemic.
Dang, Mike got him and Isaiah. They all messed up.
They all messed up, man.
Horace Grant throw a blow here and there.
Yeah, but he wasn't like a main guy in the show.
Nah.
Yeah, he was all right. But Scotty and Isaiah.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
And I just seen something today. I'm watching a podcast, The Drink Champs, and Nori asks Dion Cole, comedian. He from Chicago.
Yeah.
He say, who's the most popular out of Derrick Rose and Michael Jordan? And he went with Jordan. He said Jordan. He said, well, then he broke it down. He said, well, from the crib, Derrick Rose from the crib, he from home. If you go by that, it's him. Then Mike. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, damn, I know Isaiah is sick.
Yeah.
Now y'all done put Derrick Rose over me now.
That's that's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, Isaiah, I know you're watching.
Right.
Look, brother, hit me up.
Yeah. Straight
You
up.
come up here on the Sports Mix, man, and
We'll talk to
and
you.
you know,
We'll help you
just
out.
get it all off your chest, brother.
Yeah, man. We'll help you out, Zeke. Come on. Just come on to the Sports
Hey,
Mix.
come on through, man.
Yeah, we
'Cause-
got
'cause-
you. Because we Isaiah fans, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, we
For
know,
sure.
we know. We saw you. We know
Yeah,
what you
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I remember vividly watching that game with the swole up ankle.
Oh man.
What was that, game 6?
Oh man, yeah.
88?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that one vividly.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love you, man. And we think you should have been on that Olympic team.
Yeah, he should be on the dream team.
Yeah,
Ain't no
been
question.
on the dream team.
Ain't no
We
question.
got you, man. But you need help though, Z.
Yeah.
You need right now, man, bro. You need help, man.
Yeah.
And I think we can help you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure. Because this going a little bit too far.
Going too far, man.
Some of the stuff I done read, it's a little too far, Isaiah. You know,
Too far, man.
you know, you definitely need to be up on somebody's couch.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, that episode of the, I don't even know what that was called, when him and Magic sat down
Yeah.
and talked. And goddamn Isaiah, he lost it at the end of that thing.
Yeah,
Magic had to console him like, oh boy,
Yeah.
what was Shorty name? You say his mother was holding him up.
Oh yeah. I don't know, man. I ain't gonna say nothing. They might be watching.
Magic was holding him up like that.
Hold them like that, man. Yeah.
I know.
And you know what, man? And I don't understand Isaiah, where see, and from what I know about that him and Magic thing, it was Magic that did him dirty.
Yeah.
In that thing, man. And he just feel like he has to make it peaceful between him and whoever, man. Why is it such a necessity for him? I don't know. I don't understand that. Why does he need to clear this thing with him and Jordan? Why? I don't get it, man.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. But it's entertaining.
It is, man.
If nothing else, I am entertained.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't watch CNN and MSNBC and Fox News. I don't watch that.
Nah, me.
So anytime I can get some entertainment out of sports like this,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
People take it. Yeah.
I'll take it. little sports drama.
Yeah.
You know,
People
little sports
like
drama.
that. Yeah, people love that drama, man. You know, you catch LeBron James over on the sideline chastising Stephen A. You know, that's heavy. That's top level stuff. Yeah.
Ain't no question.
Yeah.
Ain't no question. So what was your thoughts on the last two Ravens wins? Like I said, we briefly touched on the
Yeah.
who did they beat the week before? I forgot.
They beat the Bears, man.
Beat the Bears. Beat the Bears. So what was your thoughts on the Bears win, and then the Dolphins win?
Yeah, you know, and with the Bears, you know, that was Tyler Huntley.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyler played a real good game, man. Snoop looked good out there.
Yeah.
He looked real good, man. He made some plays with his feet. And I just think that with the Ravens offensive line, you're gonna need a mobile quarterback. Because they're not that stellar, man. When you Lay and what's the other guy on the other side? Can't think of his name. But both of them are pretty much weak links, man. Tyler Linderbaum in between both of them. So, you know, is even making his season not look that great. But, you know, the guy to the right and the guy to the left ain't that strong. But they look good against the Bears. Like I say, Huntley, man, looked real good. definitely an improvement over Cooper Rush.
Mhm.
The mobility made a big difference. Tyler Huntley made some really good throws. Man, had a high completion rate and everything, and the defense played well. So, and really ditto for the Dolphins. Man, the Dolphins was like shooting themselves in the foot in that game. Man, they was moving the ball on us early. That first quarter really belonged to them.
Yeah.
But they missed a field goal down there. They fumbled the ball like on the 7-yard line. Looked like they were driving for a score, and they fumbled the ball. I mean, they just made some terrible penalties. They just had a horrible game, and I think right after that game, the GM got fired.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, the GM got
saw
fired. So they look really bad on national TV, but Lamar looked sharp. He looked good. You know, he had a little bit of rust on him at the beginning. He was a little bit tentative, but you know, once the game started flowing, man, he started doing his thing, and Lamar looked like Lamar. Good win for the Ravens.
So what do you think about the defense? You know, I just you know, I said a couple weeks ago that Zach Orr's offer should have been cleaned out. In the last 2 games, you know, I mean, they ain't been perfect, but they making plays.
They've been making plays.
They making plays over there. You know, they turning them over.
Yes.
You know, they're getting off the field.
Yeah.
You know, again, I don't know, man. I don't know if he got some horseshoes up there. What's going on?
Yeah. I think I know that the trade of Oweh for the safety from the Chargers was a move that has enabled our guy Kyle Hamilton to get closer to that line of scrimmage. And anytime he's up there near the line of scrimmage, man, automatically it makes a huge difference on that defense. Kyle Hamilton, man, is one of one, and he's made a huge difference. You know, and of course we know that they did make a trade today.
Yeah.
Bring the linebacker
Draymond Jones.
Bringing Jones, and I looked at some highlights of him. I like what I saw. I think he'll fit in really well with the team. I was hoping for more than this trade, but we didn't get anything else. But the defense, man, like you said, you sent the text. You said with Zach got that horseshoe working for him, and definitely saved his job, I think. And they played well, even with the Miami game when they were kind of going up the field on them in the first quarter. They didn't break. They bent, but they didn't let them get in that end zone, which is how some of the Ravens teams of the past played. You know, they was real good in that red zone defensively. So it's looking like the defense has turned around. I'm still leery. I wanted them to get a little bit more help because I just know the playoffs gonna be rough. And but we'll see. Lamar's there, and you know they got a chance with Lamar.
Yeah, I was definitely impressed with the defensive effort. I don't worry too much when Lamar's back there. I know that they can score some points.
Right.
You know, so when he's back there, and he, like I say, Huntley played well, he was able to put some points on the board. So I felt the offense was kind of going to come around. It was the defense for me.
Exactly. I agree.
And like I said, the last couple of weeks, you know, they showed a little the ability to get off the field. They've been getting some turnovers. You know, they've been making some key plays, man, at key times. The young rookie cornerback got his first pick. Starks, yeah. Look, he's starting to figure it out.
He's making plays now.
You know, he's starting to figure it out. You know, the Smith looking better.
Yes, he is.
You know, so he, you know, I don't know whether it was the injury early on that they had him kind of slowed up. but he looked like he kind of back in form, and he hitting.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he making some of them hits that he putting on people. I'm like, okay, that's what I needed to see.
Yeah, he looking good.
Know, and they're making plays in the backfield.
Yep.
You know, they getting to the quarterback a little bit, at least forcing them out of the pocket.
Yeah.
And making them move around, and they, making them make some bad throws and make some bad decisions. So, I like what I see there. I like what I've been seeing from the defense the last couple of weeks, because they were I know they were ranked last in the league.
Yeah,
which is blasphemous in Baltimore.
Oh man.
Ray Lewis is rolling over in his grave, man. He saw that. Man, last. We 32 out of 32. What?
Wow. Yeah, horrendous, man. Horrendous.
This Sunday, traveling to Minnesota. Minnesota looked pretty good last week.
Yeah.
But again, I always ride with my team. I don't really because Chicago looked good this week.
Yes.
They look good. They look good Sunday. And we put the smack down on them. So
they had won 4 in a row when they came to see us.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm excited, to see at least, week to week. I ain't looking at the schedule, and I ain't marking games off. I'm 1 week at a time.
They wasn't that bad against the Rams either defensively.
No, they weren't. They weren't. The Rams didn't blow them out the gym,
right?
which was good, because it started to look that way.
Yeah.
Early on in that game, So I'm just ready to see what the turn is now. We got through the bye week. We had the extra the little extra break with being playing Thursday, so you had a couple extra days off this week before you go back to Minnesota and play Sunday. They got they play Thanksgiving night too, so they got another Thursday game, which that time of year to get them extra days off.
Who they play
always good. Say again.
Who they play on Thanksgiving?
Cincinnati, I think.
Okay.
Yep. I was just looking at the schedule today. I'll be trying to, make sure ain't nobody trying to plan nothing for me on no game day. You know how folks do.
Yeah.
They play Cincinnati on Thanksgiving night.
Okay.
At home.
Okay.
So they got the home cooking.
Yeah.
Cincinnati here. So you eat your turkey and watch the Ravens.
Heck yeah.
On a home game.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about doing a show Black Friday.
Black Friday show.
Yeah. Because I ain't doing no shopping.
No.
I know I ain't doing no damn shopping.
Shit.
So, if you're available.
Are they still busting the doors down on Black Friday like they used to?
No, because I think they do it a little different now.
A lot more stuff online.
A lot of them stores be open on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's true.
Like 5 o'clock Thanksgiving evening.
Yeah.
Like when people will be still at the damn dinner table.
Right.
They had Walmart and Best Buys and all this craziness.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that money, boy.
I don't participate.
No, I just remember back in the day how violent it used to get.
Yeah.
How they used to bust down the doors, run the person who opened the door up, run them over.
Yeah, they trampling them.
Trying to get that $50 big screen television and all that stuff.
Yeah. The one TV they got for $50.
Got one of them in there. Yeah.
Yeah, but we might do a show that Black Friday.
Yeah,
we'll see how everybody flow. I mean, we'll see. Guaranteed, we'll see how things go. I know my basketball season about to start. in about a week and a half. So once that starts, I'll be definitely in the gym every day.
Yeah,
You know,
man, it's gonna be full.
so yeah, so I'm gonna definitely looking forward to this time of year. NBA games been jumping off, and I've been watching a little basketball. Watched a little bit of it wasn't much of a game, but I watched Maryland and Coppin. Well, you know what? Let me take that back.
Yeah,
It wasn't a bad game.
nah.
They got away from it at the end.
Yeah, I didn't see the whole thing, but Coppin was hanging in there.
Yeah, Coppin was hanging in there. They got it. We got away from it at the end.
Yeah.
Maryland went on here and stretched it out. The thing about watching the Maryland game for me is I realize I'm not as in tune with the teams as I used to be, because I didn't know not one player with Maryland.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this roster, and I know that the transfer portal and all this stuff, the roster switching up so much. I'm like, man, I don't know none of these kids, man.
Nah, man, and not only not knowing any of the kids, not even knowing any of the coaches either.
Yeah,
They was totally brand new roster for Maryland. They brought in Buzz Williams as the coach, and he had no roster. So,
Coppin had a local kid that I knew, and he didn't play.
Okay.
He didn't play. He may have got in at the end. I kind of had turned it off at the end. But Josiah Brown, he would have been the next generation of East West All Stars if I'd have stayed.
Okay.
He was down. He grew up down there at James McHenry.
Yeah.
I remember him when he was a little teeny boy.
Yeah.
He always could shoot it. Even when he was, remember how little kids be slinging that thing up there. He was one of them type kids, but he stayed in the gym. He was the next iteration of Chauncey.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, Chauncey always had the ball. I could hear Chauncey coming across the street. I said, yeah, there you go.
Ball.
I ain't even gotta look out the window. I knew it was him.
Right.
And Shorty was the next. He was like that next generation. Always kept a ball in his hands. Always, was around it. And once I moved from around there, I didn't really keep up with him too much, and I would hear little stuff about him as he was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he was playing a little. He's playing with Crusader Nation at one time. He went to Edmondson High Schools. He was over there with my man Darnell Dantzler, and did pretty well over there. He played last year at a junior college, I believe, as a freshman, and transferred over to Coppin this year. So he got 3 years. I guess that's how the rule worked. I don't know. I don't know what kind of eligibility how they got now. But he over there with Larry Stewart, that crew.
Mm-hmm.
So, local kids are, good to see a Baltimore kid on the Coppin roster. We know once upon a time that wasn't even a thing.
True.
That wasn't even a thing once upon a time. So
you thought Coppin was from Philly.
Yeah. Philly, New Jersey type.
Right. They was loaded with them kids.
Well, yeah, they so I'm happy for them.
It's good to see Larry Stewart back there too, man.
Yeah.
Coppin and played in the league.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He got a couple of the other guys back with him too. I think his brother Steven is on the bench.
Okay.
Steven Stewart, who played up there at Coppin. And I believe Turquin Mott is on the bench too. So, you got some Coppin heavyweights up there.
Yeah.
Trying to revive that thing.
And the thing about college basketball nowadays, in my opinion, is that particularly with the men, more so than with the women college players, but the women, they're catching up on this too. But when it comes to the men's game, in the past, there was no way that a Coppin would be able to play with a Maryland team. Mm-hmm. And when I looked across the scores in the Big Ten, man, there were a lot of close games. These so-called mid-majors they play ball, man. They play these teams very well. They're not blowouts like they used to be. And there was several upsets throughout, the day when they played. So, and to me, the game of basketball is so popular worldwide, and that, they talk about, World Cup soccer, World Cup football being really popular throughout the world. But to me, this basketball is something, man, you can take that ball and go to the court by yourself and shoot around, and I just think it's so popular, and there's so many talented players that the mid-majors got talent on these teams. And it ain't them crazy blowouts that it used to be.
Yeah, well, basketball, the only sport you can practice by yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need nobody to throw the ball to you.
Yeah.
You get over there on there and you work on your own game.
Work on
handles, and shooting, and movements, and all that stuff.
All of that.
Excuse me. Yeah, so I'm gonna make an effort, to get to some games outside of my own, my own games outside of my own schedule. I'll try to get to some of these local games, the Towson, Coppin, Morgan.
Yeah.
We got like Division I basketball right here in the city.
Absolutely.
Loyola. So I'm gonna try to make an effort to get to some games and see some of this basketball, man, that's going on around town. I'm me, I'm a gym rat.
Yeah.
I'll sit in the gym all day and watch games as long as they're competitive. So
I think what is one of the girls' team ranked really high?
One of the local teams?
Yeah, one high school girls basketball team I heard was ranked pretty high, and that high school circuit is another thing that we probably need to stick our heads in the gym. I know you coaching, so you up in there, but it's some pretty good rivalries, some pretty good games that's going on, a lot of talent in the area. Might have missed some of these players in the past. I know I have.
Yep. So they got some showcase events coming up. You got the Baltimore City versus Baltimore County. They do that every year. That's coming up in December. I'll send you that. I'll send you the schedule for that. But this game's going on all day. And the game, it's at St. Francis this year.
Okay.
So the city teams are the home teams this year. Last year, it was at Overly. Overly High School hosted last year. And, it was pretty bad for us. We've shown pretty well in it, but last year was just ugly. Now I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But that'd be a good event, just to go check out some games. Like you said, it's games going on all day, so you can kind of look at the schedule and see what you might want to see. Of course, the bigger games are probably going to be later in the day.
Oh yeah, sure.
The big names to schools and whatnot. But yeah, it's definitely high school basketball in this area, man, is always been competitive. The private schools is where you can get the top level basketball right now. And then the high level public schools, where is the next tier. But it's definitely a gap between the privates and the public.
Yeah.
With the talent right now. And we old enough to remember when it was the opposite.
Yes.
When the public schools of the city was the best league in the state.
Absolutely.
And so for sure, basketball season is on the horizon. Football season is almost at the halfway point. College football season is wrapping up, getting close to, conference championships and all that stuff start happening in November.
Yeah.
So bowl season will be here in December, January. So yeah, I mean, it's just getting right past us.
And you just finished up with a great World Series.
Oh my goodness. you know, and I had that. I got that on my list of things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the best World Series I've seen that I can remember. You know, just one game after the other, just competitive, exciting.
Yeah.
You know, you got a game, you got a World Series game that went 18 innings.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it don't get no better than that. The game 7 deciding game of the World Series went to extra innings.
Can't get no better than that.
And some of the plays that were made to save the game. You know, the Dodgers, man. You know, talk about a horseshoe. Man, that play at the plate. I mean, we always talk about the game of inches in football. You talking about a game of inches, man. This dude, the play at the plate, the catcher got his foot on the plate. He kind of raised his foot just enough to catch the ball and put his foot back down just in time to get the runner.
Mm.
And it's like bang, bang.
Yeah.
You know, it's bang, bang. And this thing, I mean, if he don't get his foot down, without you know, because the umpire called him out beforehand, but like say they called him safe, and you don't have the advantage to go in the replay.
But yeah,
the World Series is over. Toronto is the world champion.
Wow.
Right there.
Right there.
You know, the play in center, you know, where the center fielder ran over the left fielder to catch the fly out, which would have been an extra base hit, which would have ended the World Series.
Mm.
I mean, these plays, man, it's like, and he just got in the game as a defensive replacement.
Wow.
You know, so it's like that coaching, sometimes it's just a hunch. You know, let me make a defensive replacement here.
Made the right move at the right time.
You know, leaving, and I'll be blanking on the names, but the guy that hit the home run to tie the game in the 9th inning. You know, it was questionable whether he should have even been at bat.
Wow.
Because he don't have a strong bat.
Yeah.
So, you know, they questioning it, and he has the home run to tie the game up, and they talking about it on the broadcast. It's like, man, just a hell of a hunch by the manager over there, man, because if you play the numbers, you pulling them.
Right.
You know, you getting a pinch hit up there, and you don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But, y'all, I mean, man, just, you know, one thing after another. You know, it was great plays on both sides, man. Great pitching from Toronto. You know, Toronto is a team that was in last place last year. You know, they go from last place to the one. They was basically an out away from being world champion.
It sounded like they was an inch away.
Yeah. Oh man. Man.
And you talking about a Toronto team that's going against maybe the biggest market team in baseball, the Dodgers.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal, man. But yeah, the World Series, man. And Game 7, I saw a graphic. Game 7 of the World Series outdid the Game 7 of the NBA Finals by a lot.
Wow.
I mean, wasn't even close.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and people, you know, there's a lot of people that is down on the NBA.
Yes.
You know, based off of,
yeah,
you know, the teammate, the guys teaming up and all the stuff that you know, everything that they found wrong with the NBA.
Style of play.
The style of play. Which
it
is not an exciting style to play.
Right.
You know, I'll say that. Now, what I will say is the finals last year between OKC and who did they beat?
Was that Indiana?
Indiana. That was more of an old school feel.
Right.
They were a little more physical.
Yeah.
You know, OKC is not a team that relies on the three. With SGA, he's a mid-range guy. You know, get to the cup type of guy. So the games, if you watch the games, and I know a lot of people comment and don't really watch, that series was more indicative of what we were used to. Now you still don't have big men posted up, but everybody just not sitting around jacking threes up.
Yeah, that was some real good basketball.
Yeah,
that was some real good basketball. I think one thing that hurt the ratings is that you really didn't have that. It was no LeBron in the finals, no Joker in the finals. You didn't no Anthony Edwards. You didn't have that prime time. These real hype players. Luka and all them guys. They weren't there, so I think that hurt the ratings a lot.
Yep. But the NBA season started. The game's on tonight. I was watching a little bit of Atlanta and Orlando before we started the show.
Did you have a chance to see Wemby?
Yeah. Yeah. He's starting to figure it out too.
Man, I watched one game. I think that was the opening game with him.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He the real deal.
Just blown away, man, what he was doing. Unbelievable.
7'5" or 6" or whatever he is, 4 whatever. With his skills. The skills.
When he was handling that rock, man.
Yeah.
Out there at the 3-point line. And then, man, I mean, just unreal.
And he coordinated.
Yes, he is, man.
You know what I'm saying? The kid is coordinated, man. He not clumsy out there.
Tremendous shot blocker.
And he's starting to figure it out, which is dangerous.
It is, man.
That's dangerous for the league.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I say, he played defense. He can score it. And he's starting to be able to score from all 3 levels.
Yeah.
I like that he don't sit out there and jack threes, but he will take one.
And he can hit them.
And I mean, did you see the step back?
Yeah. That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
The step back. I mean, this kid is 7 foot 100. He ain't supposed to be able to do this.
Looking like he weighed about 185 pounds.
Yeah, look like JJ. Yeah, man. And they say he's a real down to earth kid.
Yeah.
Like real down to earth, man. Not ain't tripping on himself. Now, that comes with that stardom, because man, stardom ain't for everybody.
No.
Everybody don't wear stardom well.
It ain't for most.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I that may be one of the worst drugs out there.
It is, man.
That popularity.
Yeah.
And stardom, man. And then don't have put a couple dollars on top of that.
Most people don't do well.
And I seen I'm cause we kind of jumping around tonight. It's just one of them type of shows.
We in the mix.
We mixing it up. We're talking about handling stardom. I'll bring it back home on this one. Man, Tank Davis, man. I don't know Tank. Never met him.
Right.
Don't really know his camp like that. But I am concerned. And not I ain't worried about the boxing. None of that.
Yeah.
The superstardom, I ain't concerned about none of that, man. I'm concerned about the young man. And some of the situations that he finds himself in, kind of the same situations over and over.
Yeah.
And I guess the fight, the little exhibition he's supposed to fight with Jake Paul is off, which I'm kind of glad that's off anyway. I wasn't really looking forward to seeing that.
No.
I think that was that would have been a clown show.
Absolutely.
I think, I just don't think that was good for boxing or anybody other than Jake Paul. But Tank, man, he keep having these situations with these women, which to me it's something else going on. Something else a little more deeper, some deeper things that he's not really dealing with. And does he have the people around him that can point it out? Sometimes, man, when you the cash cow, nobody gonna call you out. Nobody gonna check you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna check you. Or if they see something ain't right, they're not gonna be the ones to tell you because they don't want to mess up their cash flow.
Exactly.
Or hanging out at the club popping bottles.
Exactly.
Or flossing. Or I'm driving a Lambo tonight. That type of stuff. So I'm just hopeful, that there's somebody that can get to this young fella, man, and just kind of rein him in and just to figure out what's going on. Because, damn boxing, man, because, like I say, we get caught up in the sport and we don't want to see him mess up his opportunity to get this money and, all this old stuff we talk about, the bag and all that. I'll be concerned about the person. Yeah, he's a hell of a talent, and he's a somebody that from the city of Baltimore, nobody's ever done the things he's done in boxing. And we've had some champions to come out of the city or the area, but
right.
Nobody at his level. And he's still a young man. He still got some years ahead of him. So I just hope that there's somebody that's in his camp, man, that can kind of, help him to figure out, what's going on and why he keep finding himself in these same type situations. I'm not one of these people that, call people you are what your mistakes are. I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? And we know people will do that. People love an opportunity to kick somebody when they're down. And so we understand where he came from, and we understand the challenges that come from living in neighborhoods like that. And sometimes, man, that trauma, if you don't deal with the traumas that you dealt with or been a part of, they're gonna find you. And they will deal with you. And that's something too, man. I think a lot of times people don't really understand that, your circumstances sometimes dictate your movements. Your circumstances, man. So if you born in certain situations, and everybody talk about this old pick yourself up by your bootstraps, and you figure it out. Sometimes people do what they know. And if all they know to do is fight, that's all they're gonna do is fight.
Yeah.
And it don't matter what the opponent look like. It don't matter what the opponent look like, because they just fighting. Because this what it was where I grew up. It was about survival. And I'm gonna plug this. I didn't plan on plugging it, but I just recently purchased a book from an old co-worker of mine. He just wrote his first book. It's called The Promise. And I talked to him, so I started reading the book, and I told him once I read it, I'm gonna have you on the show, and we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk. And so he already agreed to do it. But the book is called The Promise. And it's basically he telling his life story. He come from West Baltimore, and his name is Alfonso Mayo. Let me plug him properly. So he's from West Baltimore, man. He was telling his story, man, and just how you read his story and you see he wasn't supposed to make it. He wasn't supposed to make it. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be a statistic. He's supposed to be somebody we read about or somebody you heard about on the news, and then he's either locked away for the rest of his life or was murdered, on the streets of the city. And I'm just through the first half of the book. He's still talking about his childhood at this point. And I'm just, because I met him as an adult, not knowing his background, really not knowing what his story was, man. So I'm reading this, and I'm looking at him in a totally different way, because, man, you would never know this was his circumstances if you met him. You know what I'm saying? You would never know that. So I'm gonna have him on the pod at some point, and we will really dig in. Like I say, it's the sports mix, and I know we sports, but we definitely can mix it up. And he was an athlete. He played football, and kind of football, kind of one of the things that kind of saved his life, helped him turn it around. But yeah, I'm gonna have him on the show. His name's Alfonso Mayo. The book is called The Promise. And if you watch it, you want to get it, you can get it on Amazon. That's where I got mine from. Got it off Amazon, and pretty reasonable price too. And you can get it in hardback or paperback. So yeah, just real inspiring, man. I definitely want to have him on the show and talk about his story a little bit, and definitely hope to inspire some others. But Tank Davis, man, the Baltimore kid, and it means a little bit more too, because he's from Baltimore. He's one of ours. So he's taking his talents and gotten himself to a level where he's pretty well known, worldwide, and the face of boxing at one point. The face of boxing, man, and again, when you have trouble, man, and people just want to throw you away. That's the first thing people want to do. They just want to wash their hands on you, like, I don't have no parts of that. Somebody right now need to wrap their arms around them and try to help that young man. Really talk to him and really help him to get himself together before the train really go off the tracks. So that's my 2 cents on that. But I know that the Jake Paul fight is off, from my understanding. Yeah. And Jake Paul put out a statement today, which was, some BS. Which is typical for him. You know what I'm saying? He's a BS artist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really impressed with him as a person. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen him fight against somebody comparable enough to really even comment on his boxing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just leave that alone. But yeah, I'm pulling for Tank Davis, man, and anybody that's around a young man, he got people that's pulling for him. He got people that's pulling for him, and we want to see him pull it together and get his stuff back on track, man. So pulling for Tank Davis, man. So yeah, that's what I got on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I second that on Tank. I just one thing I was kind of amazed that he had made it to the level like you just mentioned. He absolutely was the face of boxing. Mm-hmm. And he had the big Showtime boxing events, and the stars was coming out to see him fight and everything. I had questions about his corner. He had some real big fights coming up, man, and the guy wasn't making weight and things like that. So I really saw that as suspect. Of course, he was in the news for some reasons that are not too good. And so I definitely share your concern too. Hopefully somebody is close enough to him that can touch him and help guide him. We're not judging him at all.
No, not at all.
There's absolutely concern.
Yep. You just want to see him, live up to that hype, man. It's not every day that somebody from our city reach those levels. So you think about it. We got him right now that was up there. He's going through a little storm right now. But Angel Reese is killing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about these are our young people.
Yep.
You know, these are the people that they told us, you know, the throwaway people.
Right.
You know, these the ones they said wasn't about nothing.
Right.
You know, they ain't about nothing. And Angel is killing it.
He's been
Angel is killing it, man.
He has been sensational.
Killing it.
And I mean, really, man, when it's all said and done, and it might sound crazy, but Angel Reese has an opportunity to be the biggest star from Baltimore ever.
Ever, man.
Male or female.
Ever.
I mean, the track that she's on, man. I mean, this woman is killing it. Absolutely killing it.
And it's a beautiful thing to see.
It is, man.
It is a beautiful thing to see, man. And the thing about Angel that I love is Angel is confident, man.
Yeah. And
she don't care who don't like her. She don't care. You know what I'm saying? And she doing it her way. As they say, as Frank Sinatra say, not in a shy way.
Right. That's right.
She doing it her way, man. You know, she killing it right now in the fashion. You know, I just seen some photos popped up of her. She was at some event, I guess last night or the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So she stole the show, you know, with the outfit. I mean, man, just a beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
Number one. You know what I'm saying?
Smart. Very smart.
Very intelligent. And I think, man, her brashness kind of throws people off from realizing just how intelligent she is.
She money wise too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So, and she's a leader. You know, she got some comments floating around out there about, you know, the WNBA grade going to a collective bargaining.
Oh yeah.
And she's saying, like, hey, if we ain't getting paid like the NBA players, we're not playing.
Right.
So what I think the misconception in what she's saying is collective bargain wise, we should be getting the same percentages as the NBA players. You know, she know they're not gonna make NBA player money.
Right.
But percentage wise, yeah, they should be getting a bigger piece of that pie. Especially over the last couple of years when her and Caitlin Clark and that group came in.
Yep.
With them two putting bringing the spotlight to the league is really putting the spotlight on everybody else. It's allowing everybody else to shine, you know, and it takes special type of individuals to live in that light. And, you know, we talked about that light briefly. Everybody can't shine in that light, man. You know, when them lights are on you, you know, everybody ain't Michael Jackson.
No.
Jermaine couldn't do what Michael did.
No.
You know, he could sing.
Right.
But when them lights was on, Mike say, hey, get over there and what he said, Mike said, I need him over there on my left.
Yeah.
You be over here doing what you do. I got this.
Exactly.
Because I like the lights.
Exactly.
You know, Mike Jordan liked the lights.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Barry Sanders.
You got some folks that could thrive under those lights, man. Ali and them cats, man. You know?
Ray Lewis.
Right.
Ed Reed.
Yeah, man. When the light's shining bright.
Justin Tucker. Too soon.
You know his record just got broken.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that Sunday. Yeah, I saw that.
I think it
was 70 yards?
Kick it 68 yards.
68?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Well, I think somebody gonna pick him up.
It's possible, man.
I think somebody gonna pick him up.
Yeah.
Because he had to sit out the first 10 games. And we're getting close to that.
Yeah, I mean, People do anything, man, for the for them playoffs, man, to win a Super Bowl. And he is Justin Tucker.
He is. He is. He like them lights.
Right.
Like them mood lights.
Yeah, he's into those lights, man.
The red lights.
Right. Right. That's right. That's what he Absolutely. Well, you know what, man? People going through stuff, man. People are going through stuff.
You're right. He like them dimly lit rooms.
Right.
He did his best work.
Mm-hmm.
In some of them dimly lit rooms.
He was definitely into happy endings. That's for sure. Even if it wasn't on the menu.
Oh, shout out to Tyler Loop.
Yeah. Yeah. Loop, there it is. Ain't that what they be saying?
Yeah. Well, them lights get too bright for some of them dudes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to start calling none of them out.
Right.
Because we can do a whole show on them.
Yeah.
When the lights get too bright, what you do then?
Yeah.
And speaking of the lights being bright, what has gotten to Joe Flacco's Cheerios, man?
Hey. Flacco doing his thing, man.
Damn.
He doing his thing.
I almost didn't want to see them lose the other day.
Yeah, I heard that was a great game, man. I didn't get a chance to really see it or see the highlights of it. I just heard about it.
Yeah, I caught the highlights. Of it.
Flacco doing his thing, man.
Yeah, one of them reporters asked the Cleveland head coach, man, what it feel like to see Joe Flacco out there?
Right.
He said, "Yeah, I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment on players on other teams. I bet it ain't appropriate."
Great.
I bet it ain't appropriate now.
Yeah, and Mike Tomlin spoke out about that.
Yeah.
It ain't make much sense to him.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me either.
No.
I said, "Was this y'all like trading in the division?"
Right.
Myles Garrett could look real good in purple.
Yeah.
To the people up there in Cleveland that's watching.
Right.
If y'all, the trade deadline is passed, but maybe in the off season.
Yeah, wishful thinking.
It is. I'm real wishful.
Right.
Hopeful even.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Flacco, man, is balling.
Yes, he is.
I'm impressed, but I know Joe Flacco well enough to know that you will get this in spurts.
Right.
So don't expect this to last, for a whole month and a half, 2 months. And then let me say this. If he continues to ball out like this, even though Cincinnati lost, but if he putting up numbers like this, what they do when Burrow come back?
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow, and he making the money, so we know they're gonna have to put him back in there. But just saying, if Joe balling out of control like that, and they win a couple games,
right?
You kind of left with a dilemma.
And his performance. I heard some commentators talk about his performance, and they started questioning. They said, "We know Joe Burrow is a tough quarterback, great quarterback, but is it Joe Burrow or is it those receivers they got? Because Joe Flacco is performing at such a high level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you compare the paychecks these guys get, Flacco and Burrow, who is it? Is it those receivers? They got a hell of a receiving.
They the best in the business.
Yeah, them boys tough, man. So
tough.
So yeah, but I'm a Joe Burrow fan. I know he's tough, man. But I got to give Flacco credit for what he's been doing. I'm like you too. I think they gonna see the real Flacco. So yeah, he gonna show up.
Yeah, he'll show up.
Yeah, he'll show up.
He'll show up.
Yeah.
Just like the Cardinals, the name Brissett, their quarterback.
Over what's his name?
Yeah, because he's been balling out.
Yeah.
I watched the game last night. He looked pretty good.
He started?
Yeah, he started. Yeah, because what's his name is hurt.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, he's hurt. He was over there in the street clothes. But I saw today that they went ahead and named him the quarterback because they was talking about it. I know Joe Buck and Troy Aikman was talking about it during the game last night. What do you do when I can't think of the quarterback name when he come back?
Right.
And Troy Aikman said, man, I stick with Brissett.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to like the way he's been playing the last couple of weeks. And yeah, they I saw that today. I saw that today that he was named the starter. So, money be damned. Hey, it's all about performing and winning.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
Said the offense is moving a lot better. He got Larry. He got not Fitzgerald. He got Marvin Harrison Jr. on there.
Oh yeah.
He had a big game last night. So this is and it's getting into that time of season. You always say, man, you can't judge a team by what they do in September and October. It's now November. It's now grind time.
Yeah.
The weather's changing up for the northern teams. The weather's going to be a factor in some of these games. The running game has to be better. All these things are a factor now, and then you want to be playing your best football November, December, January. You want to round it. You want to end the season on your best. You don't want your best football to be in September and October. And we've seen that before. So I like I said, and that's why I like where the Ravens are right now. They're getting healthy. They got some guys coming back. Guys making plays. The defense is looking better. I like what I'm seeing. And on to Minnesota this week, and then we'll see. We'll see what the Ravens are this time next week. And hopefully it'll be the third straight win and one game closer to 500. That'll put us at 4-5. Scary team because now people starting to whisper. Lamar back. The defense is looking better. We starting to see the whispers. The national people starting to talk again. They starting to do their little thing. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the prospects, man, to see where our team is going to be over the next month. So what's your thoughts on Jaden Daniels' injury? The fact that he was in the game when they were down big like they were in the fourth quarter. Of course, revision is history. You know how they say, that 2020, hindsight is always 2020. He shouldn't have been in the game, this, that, and the other. I don't really take that approach because I'm the type to believe injuries can happen at any time. And it just looked like one of them injuries. He was, went to put his hand down. Did you see it?
I did not see it.
Yeah, it's one of them ones, a little queasy. He was getting tackled and went to brace himself, put his arm down and at the elbow, man, that thing bent back the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was bad. It looked bad right from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think it was his offhand. I don't think it was his throwing arm.
Okay.
Which it still was an ugly injury. But everybody questioning now should he even have been in the game. With the game out of hand,
What was
in the
the
fourth
score?
quarter.
It was a blowout.
Yeah, it was a blowout. They were down, I think, 30 points.
Okay, wow.
30-something points in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
You know, the only thing I can say, man, is that he had been out a couple games.
Yeah.
And maybe you want to leave him in just to knock the rust off and
Get his rhythm.
Get the rhythm back. Maybe that's why the thinking. I haven't heard the coach or anybody say why he was in the game. I just been hearing a lot of people say he shouldn't have been in the game, of course.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't again, man, I don't really I don't go back and forth with that. I don't really look backwards on what should have or should not have happened. You know, again, because injuries can happen at practice. You know, and we've seen that it's football. You know, when non-contact injuries happen, you know, people's knees and Achilles go out and all these things happen when you're playing these sports. So I don't like when we question whether he should have or should not have been in the game. What if he got hurt in the first quarter and so you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it can happen. But you know, it happened at that time in the game, so now you're gonna get the question: should he have been in the game? And it's just something you got to deal with. But
you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that second guessing all the time after the fact, and second guessing these decisions and things like that. I don't question guys' strategy and how they approach the game, their philosophies, and all that kind of stuff. You know, all I can say is that if I'm the coach of that team, most likely he would not have been in that game.
Yeah.
Based on the way that I would have approached it. But that's not a knock on the way his coaches approach the game. Like you say, it can happen any time of the game. It could have happened anywhere. And but that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for him, and such a talented young quarterback, man, and hopefully he get that full recovery and come back blazing.
Yeah, and Washington's struggling right now. You know, with the high hopes on the season.
Yeah,
you know, and they struggling a little bit. Now he going down. You know, I don't know what that does for their prospects for the rest of the year. But again, man, you know, in this they talk about, well, I've heard a couple weeks ago before he went out because he was injured a couple weeks ago. You know, the sophomore jinx, because he not playing as well as he did the first year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Is it the sophomore jinx and all this stuff? So I'm just hopeful because I like him. I like him, man. I watched a couple of his games last year and I took a liking to him.
Absolutely.
You know, I said, yeah, he's a baller. He can play in this league. You know, and so I'm pulling for the young fella to make a full recovery, man, and just really get himself back and become what he need to become for the Washington team down there, you know. And you know, with these young quarterbacks, you know, sometimes, man, the opportunities are gonna be limited because the short fuse, you know, people just the patience. People don't have the patience for developing quarterbacks no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he, you know, with injuries, you know, that could be the thing too. People put that knock on you where he's injury prone. You know, he's somebody that's you know, gonna always go out and be hurt. That type of thing. So now I just CB, what's up, brother? My guy Charles Brooks checking in.
He's frail too, you know. He's frail physically. You know, his body, not a real big guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Real big guy. And you know,
that was the question.
That sophomore jinx thing, man. You know, a lot of people talk about that and they label that and you know, they put the word jinx behind it. But to me, it's real in the sense that they now have a history on you. You know, they know you came in as a rookie, nobody knew you, know what you could do and all that kind of stuff. Well, they got a whole season on you now, and they know how to prepare for you. And you basically you have to be able to make the adjustments because the league is going to adjust to you. Yeah. And a lot of it has to do with his whole coaching staff, basically, offensive coordinator, all that kind of stuff. They have to adjust to teams adjusting to him. Yeah. So that sophomore jinx is real in that way.
For sure. For sure. So, I'm pulling for you, young fella. Want to see you do well down there in DC. They ain't really no competition to us. Ain't no real rivalry with us.
No.
Ravens and Washington, the Commanders or whatever. So I'm pulling for you. Hopefully you make a full recovery from this.
Mm-hmm.
But again, man, sports mix, man. We mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah, live.
We've been jumping around a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
Hit on some topics. Just every so often, and we've talked about this before here. Every so often, I come across these videos of the late great Len Bias. And man, it's hard for me not to watch him. Whenever I come across it, I got to stop and watch. And I've seen these highlights thousands of times, and it's probably one of the biggest what ifs in my life, especially with sports.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest what ifs that I can think of sports wise, man. What if Len Bias had got to the league? How would history have been different?
Right.
And I don't like to play that game, the what ifs and could haves and should haves. But just as an individual player, right? What that dude was, man, it just because I remember some years ago, I was trying to explain to a young fellow just how tough he was. And he kept asking me, well, who would you compare him to that was playing that the young kid would know? And I'm saying, man, I don't think it is nobody. It's nobody that I could compare him to and say he would have been something like that. Because he just wasn't, he was nothing like we had seen before, man. They compare him to Michael Jordan a lot just because of the athletic ability. He was as athletic as Mike. He was quick as Mike. But I just think they was different players.
Yeah,
I think the skills was different. And he would have did it at a real high level his way. Len Bias didn't have a lot of east-west in his game. He was north and south. He was going to get to a spot. He's going to get that jump shot over you because nobody, he got, what they say, a 38-inch vertical at 6'8". So he and his jump shot was one of the prettiest shots.
Yeah, no doubt.
Still today, man. I see that shot. I watch some of the highlights, man. You watch them just like, man, look at the form on this thing. The arc on his shot. The gracefulness that he played with, but then he had the power all at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't as graceful as Mike Jordan, but he had his game was fun to watch as well.
Yes, it was.
So to what that rivalry could have been, had he went to Boston when Boston had just won the championship, they get Len Bias. He's coming in there behind Bird, McHale, and Parrish. He'd have been on that front line. You could have really played him at any of those positions. He was only 6'8". He wouldn't have been a big man. He wouldn't have been a center back then. But he could have played the power forward.
Yeah.
He could have played the small forward. He could have played some guard.
Yeah, definitely.
He didn't have the greatest handle. He didn't have like the clean, pretty handles. But he could get to a spot.
Yep.
He could get to where he wanted to get to. And that was the thing that I think is lost when we talk about, guys, the mid-range game. That I remember Bernard King. Look, Neil. What's up, homie?
That's what's up.
I remember Bernard King saying he broke the game down like a graph, and it broke it down into quarters, like the half court, and he had 8 spots here and 8 spots going this way. You know what I'm saying? He played the game like that, where we just looking at the basket. He looking at spots on the floor. If I can get here, I can get this off. If I can get here, you know what I'm saying? And Len Bias had that type of ability. We know how tough a scorer Bernard King was. You know what I mean? And he said he broke it down by the spots. He said, I could get to my spot. I knew it was nothing nobody could do with me. Nothing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I heard the clip I'm talking about. I just saw this recently. Tony Massenberg, who played with Lenny maybe a year or two down there in Maryland, we're just talking about how Lenny, he had to build. Let me see. Sure, if he had developed a better handle, it would have been a wrap. Yeah, it was the sky was the limit for Lenny, man. The sky was the limit. And that's the greatest tragedy. Again, in my lifetime, I still, man, just think I'm going to wake up and that was all a nightmare. It was just a bad dream I had.
Yeah.
That just wasn't real. And that just wasn't the case. That really happened, and that he gone. He didn't. We got what we got.
Yeah,
we got what we got. But you just think about it. You got Lenny, and we doing the what if thing. So you got Lenny coming behind the legends. Reggie Lewis came the next year. And again, I tell people, Reggie Lewis was drafted at the end of the first round.
Right.
So he would have been there. You know
right.
what I'm saying? He would have been there. And that was another one of them. Red Auerbach wanted him. That's who Red Auerbach wanted.
Oh, yeah.
So you imagine with Reggie, and we got to see Reggie in the league. He became an all-star in the league.
All-star.
So we knew the track he was on. We knew the track he was on. But imagine, man, with Lenny and Reggie, they'd have been the next. They definitely would have changed the path in the East.
No question.
For sure. The path to the championship in the East definitely would have been changed in the 90s. Michael Jordan, which is, you broke all the bad Timmy, bro, Len Bias, then Biggie. I was the bearer of bad news. I think Neil probably the first person I called. Both times. Early in the morning.
Yeah, that was easily the most shocking thing that a death impacted me when I got that news that Len Bias had died. That was easily the most shocking thing that I heard.
Yeah.
Me, and just seeing that long body on that gurney, being wheeled out, man, and seeing Keith Gatlin and Massenberg and them boys, seeing Gatlin banging on the wall, and I mean, it was just a unreal situation, and that Hank Gathers thing was heavy too, man. With Lenny, man, being so big, man, in the DMV area and the Baltimore, Maryland area, as Maryland fans and stuff like that. It was just unreal, man, inconceivable, man, that something like that could happen. And I'm not quite sure, man, if folks you know, like you say, you could be talking to some young guys, man, and I guess they wouldn't be able to understand, man. But the impact, man, of that guy dying like that, man, it was just no way you could wrap your mind around what was happening. Um, and again, man, that happened back in what year was that? 1986.
86. Yep.
Yeah, back in 1986, I think, what, June 19th or something? What was that?
Yep.
Yeah,
June 19th, 96.
1996, man, and just and that's coming up on, is that 40 years that's coming up on?
Yep.
We coming up on 40 years, man, and still, you know, that day, man, nothing has surpassed it as far as the hit that I got from it, man. That thing just floored me. And he is the biggest what if in my book. He is easily the biggest what if. I would have loved to seen him. I was not a Boston fan.
Mm-mm.
You know, I was already, you know, sizing up a hat. You know, I was already sizing up a hat because Lenny was there, man.
Yeah.
Had no choice, man. So and then if old Truck would have followed him, Reggie Lewis that next year, then, you know, we'd have been up in there, you know, with the Celtics, man. But it changed the whole course of you know, that franchise and the NBA, and we would have loved to have seen him in that league, man, and seeing what he would have done. Just a hell of a talent, man.
Yeah.
Lenny was something. Man.
Yeah, it just unfortunate that, you know, this is what we got. You know, we didn't get to see what we wanted, and was to see him at that next level, you know, become a superstar, because he was on that track. He was on the track to become a big superstar, man. And you know, people say, well, Jordan didn't have a rival in his run, and that may be true. You know, he kind of stood on the mountaintop by himself. He didn't have a bird to his magic, you know, during the 90s. It was him.
Right.
He was the star. You know what I'm saying? And he was the Dragon Slayer. He was knocking out all of the big names. You know, and yeah, I mean, man, if he had that equal, you know, if he had that somebody that was at his level, that we'd have longed to see those matchups. You know, what if? You know, what if? And that's like I said, that's just the biggest thing, man. The what if. What could have been. You know, what could have been. But, you know, it just wasn't meant to be.
With I mean, and you know, when you think about that kind of stuff, man, I mean, can you imagine, man? I would have loved to have seen Dennis Rodman guarding Len Bias. You know, I'd love to have seen the Bad Boys dealing with Boston with a Len Bias on that team. I mean, those are some of the things that we missed out on.
Yeah.
You know, we missed out on those kind of things, and it sometimes, man, it's even painful to think about it sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We didn't see that. I mean, can you? I mean, I absolutely can see, you know, Dennis Rodman draped all over him trying to get in his head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how would that have played out? You know. So.
And they had a similar build. You know, Dennis wasn't no real big dude. You know, Dennis was tall and lanky.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't no big guy. But he was strong.
Yeah.
Dennis wasn't going to bully him.
No.
But yeah, that'd have been a hell of a. See, I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that, and just the way Dennis was playing defense early on.
Yeah.
I mean, we know what he did in Chicago, but the way he was playing, remember they had him checking Magic.
Of course, yeah, man.
In them finals, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, Dennis Rodman, man, they had him on checking everybody.
Yeah, he checking everybody.
Right.
You know, and Dennis had a couple of defensive player of the years too.
He run up and down that floor, man. Like he looked like he could run a mean 400 meters, man. I mean, yeah. So that to me, that would have been something that I would have loved to see, man. You know, Boston and Detroit going at it in a 7-game series with Len Bias on that squad, going against the Bad Boys, man. And you know they would have been putting Sally on him because Sally, you know, played him when he was down at Georgia Tech in the ACC. They had some matches where you know, Sally was trying his best, you know.
Well, on that clip that I was just talking about,
yeah,
with Tony Massenberg, he said he got amped up. I guess he was still in high school watching, you know, the Maryland versus Georgia Tech game because he said, you know, John Sally was an agile 7-footer.
Absolutely.
He was one of the first 7-footers that was as agile as he was. He covered a lot of ground defensively, and he could move. You know, he wasn't a big 7-foot slug. You know, he could move his feet. And he said, man, he wanted to see what Lenny could do against this dude. And he said, man, Lenny tore the fur off of him. And he said he had opportunity to play with John Sally in the league up there in Toronto. And he said they had some conversations about Len Bias. And he said, this John Sally said this to Tony Massenberg. He said, man, Len Bias was the only player I didn't have an answer for. I didn't have an answer for him, man. He was just that good. And he said the one thing that always he always struggled with is that Lenny didn't live long enough to play in the league.
Yeah.
To show the world how great he was.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, John Sally, he talked about Len Bias to people who never even saw him play. Probably some of them never even heard of him. And they said, man, he couldn't have been that good. He couldn't have been as good as you saying. He said, no, he was better than what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes, you know, words just you can't put it in the words. If you didn't physically see it, even sometimes watching the highlights, you know, to me, because we lived through it. So I can look at the highlights a different kind of way, but somebody that didn't live through it can look at them highlights and be like, he wasn't all that. Or what they do now is they talk about the competition wasn't all that good. That's the thing they do with Jordan now, man. He was playing against bums, you know, that old type of stuff. Like, nah, he was just that good.
And in my estimation too, and this kind of adds to how good Bias was, is that, you know, throughout my time of watching him, I don't think I missed a Maryland game during his tenure. I've been a huge Maryland fan for years, man, and even to this day. And out of all the players that I've seen guard him, Sally guarded him the best.
Mm-hmm.
And because he was 7 feet tall, and he was agile and got off the floor really fast, and he had quick feet and all that kind of stuff, man. And here Bias was still cooking him.
Yeah.
That was the best that I seen that played Bias, but you know, but pretty much Bias was an unstoppable kind of guy, man. That jumper he had was perfect, man. I mean, the jumper he had was just perfect. Just simply perfect. So
I don't think Naismith had that in mind.
No.
When
he put that peak basket up there, he wasn't thinking about no 6'8" Negroes jumping out the gym. Jumping from the free throw line.
You know, my mind, my imagination, I guess this is for me being, you know, only child for a period in life. I was by myself a lot. So, you know, you sit and you think about things. And, you know, I can't use childhood for this one because I thought about this stuff as an adult. Wonder what old Naismith would think, you know, we could bring him back and take him to see, some of the greats that have played in the last, say, the last 40 years. So, the Birds and Magics, Dr. J's, MJ, Barkley, on up to LeBron and Kobe and all. You know what I'm saying? Just wonder what he would think if we could sit him, half courtside at a game, man, and just watch it.
Yeah.
Where he didn't even have the ability to see it. He just left the game whenever he died. The game was what it was when he passed away. And wake him up and bring him on back and sit him at half court and watch the game now. And what would he say?
Man, he may not have made it up to them players. He might have went into cardiac arrest, man, watching Bob Cousy and some of them dudes, man. He might have wouldn't even have made it to Jordan there. And man, that's that thing about evolution, man. About people just getting better and better, and I mean, it's a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing. You bring the Orville and whatever the Wright brothers back. Take them out BWI.
Oh man. Yeah.
See what happened to them.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. They like, wait a minute.
Right.
Some things we had wings on them.
Exactly.
Flapping.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We may wrap up in a few, but any other things popping right now in sports before we wrap it up?
Yeah. Well, one thing I've been paying close attention to the Maryland football team too. Loxley out there and he's coaching and everything, and I worry about Loxley as far as keeping his job. He's got the kid, and I can't remember the kid's name, man, but he's might be the top player coming to Maryland next year.
Yeah, I've been reading some of that.
Yeah, he's like the top player, and the kid recently went down to South Carolina for a visit, and he has been committed to Maryland for quite a while. And Loxley came out and made some comments like, yeah, I mean, if South Carolina want to spend $10,000 to $15,000 for him to come down and take a visit, I mean, that's on them. But we've been in contact with one another consistently. He's committed to us, and he's making those kind of comments. But and this is before they played Indiana this week, who was ranked number 2 in the nation. But I said before the Indiana game, I said if like 3 or 4 things happen, I think Loxley will be out at the end of the year. Which and one of them is if they get blown out by Indiana, and they did. They put up 55 points on them. And I said if this kid, who's the top recruited number 1 player in high school, and depending on who you're listening to, he's number 1, 2, or 3. If he flip and go to South Carolina, and also if Maryland continue to lose these games, they lost 3 games that they should have won.
Yeah.
And if they they don't make it to a bowl, and so the Indiana thing has happened already. Now, if this kid flip and go to South Carolina and Maryland continue their losing ways and don't make the bowls, because you got this young quarterback, Malik Washington, who they're really high on, and he's a good young quarterback, but they have no running game. They played Indiana, who had Roman Hembry, who was a Maryland running back for the last 4 years. He flipped and went there, and he was running all over Maryland in the game. I just don't think things are looking good for Loxley. I think he's been there for 7 years. I think this might be his 8th year down there at Maryland. I've always had some issues with his decision making out there. I'm not really impressed with his decision making. So this is I think he's on the hot seat, and we'll see how that all play out. But yeah, a lot of times, man, they don't give coaches that long to turn a franchise around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got a new AD down there too.
Right.
So, that could definitely keep him on the hot seat.
Right.
When he wanted, again, I think with Loxley, having ties to the community, he was on Friedgen staff, I believe.
Yeah, he was.
So he was around, so he's definitely a Maryland kind of guy, but it's just tough, man, because you realize, you see how much talent is leaving the area, and Maryland has never really been a football school like that. I was one that thought when the Maryland switched to the Big Ten that football would struggle more than any sport.
Absolutely.
I thought basketball would be okay, just because with basketball you can, basketball is a little bit easier, I think, to recruit big names than football is. The difference with Maryland, I think, with when Gary Williams was coaching, I think he was the coach that was he the coach when they went over, or did he just leave after the ACC? I don't know if he went over the Big Ten for a couple of years or not.
I think it might have been Turgeon.
Yeah, but even with the thing with Maryland basketball was they just never had seemed like they never would go after the big name prospects, or they couldn't get them. And you think about the big names that were from right here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia, Baltimore area that did not go to Maryland, And I always remember back when Gary Williams took over, and I just remember reading the article where Donnell Marshall and Lawrence Moulton had signed to come to Maryland. They were coming. And something about their grades last minute, and it is only because of the stuff that happened under Lefty with the grades that whatever standards they had, they had to take them up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
And so these kids were signed and ready to come here, and they were told that they wasn't going to be able to come. And we see where both of them guys became big stars in the Big East.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
And both of them went to the league. And I know Moulton didn't have a great NBA career. He might have played 1 or 2 years in the league. Marshall ended up being a journeyman in the league, but they were hell of a college players.
Yeah.
Was it Kevin Durant took a visit to Maryland, from my understanding.
Yeah, he recruited him.
Jermaine O'Neal, I remember.
Rudy Gay.
Kevin Durant.
Carmelo Anthony. All these talented players, man. Right
here, right in the backyard. And they weren't going to Maryland for whatever reason.
No.
And so it's the same thing with football. Maryland football is just a lot of talent that leaves the area, and they're going up to Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida. The Florida schools was getting them, the North Carolinas and these type schools, man. So Jonathan Ogden is from DC. He went all the way to UCLA.
UCLA.
You know what I'm saying? And so, Maryland never have had a
What's the Chicago
reputation. Was that
Chicago Bear quarterback?
Yeah. I can't think his name. Yep, he a DC kid.
DC kid.
Yep.
He
went to USC.
USC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of this area is talent rich. Football, basketball, otherwise. And I know that sometimes kids just want to get away. They want to get away from home. They want to get away, see something different. Sometimes the bag a little bigger in other places. And that's a conversation a lot of people are not comfortable having. But we know it's $1 billion industry. These college sports. Now they can get paid now,
right?
But once upon a time, when they wasn't legally supposed to get paid, them bags was a little bigger in other places.
And they still are.
Yeah. But yeah, so I believe, and I didn't really look at it as deep as you did with what could have happened, what things that were going to happen. I think the Loxley's days are over. I think this is going to be it for him at the University of Maryland, regardless of what happened.
Yeah.
Because again, like you say, they lost some games early on that they should have won. And the team is definitely much better than they've been. They've been much more competitive. And Malik Washington is a star.
Yeah.
He's a star, man.
Yeah.
He's a star. He's the real deal as a quarterback. And see, that's one of the ones we talk about. When I know you were talking about, some of this talent that's around the area that you didn't get to put eyes on them when they was in high school. He was one of them.
Yeah.
He was one of them because I never even heard of him.
Right.
Because I just don't tune in to high school football like that. But he was one of them ones, man. They were saying, yeah, he was legit. And had I known, I'd have made my way down there to Spalding.
Yeah, absolutely.
To check a couple games out, man.
Absolutely.
And I think I read somewhere St. Francis #1 in the nation.
Yeah, football.
High school football.
And they just knocked off the former #1 team.
Yeah, I heard that.
Beat them good.
Beat them good too, I heard. Yeah.
So you got that team here. The #1 high school, DeMatha ranked like 12th or something.
Mm-hmm.
DeMatha right down the street from College Park. I mean, the excuses, man. It's just no excuse, man. And I remember when Loxley, because before Loxley came to Maryland, he was the offensive coordinator down there at Alabama.
Yep.
And so he came to Maryland. He brought Wichicom's brother with him as a quarterback.
Yeah, him.
However you say that name. He brought the Lions quarterback brother with him, and he put up all these big numbers, man. But he was a head case. But the first thing I remember, one of the early things I remember Loxley saying when he came to Maryland, he said, I see where these linemen, man, we it's the size of them, man. We definitely got to focus on beefing up these lines and get some big boys up in here. I mean, it's 7-8 years later, man, and he still haven't been able to accomplish that.
Yeah.
And they always get out muscled in these games. And now you got this guy Malik, quarterback, who's a star, and Maryland has no running game, man. Mm-hmm. Nothing. They have no running game. They get down into the red zone. They can't get the ball across the line because the offensive line, man, just gets manhandled. Yeah. And with a quarterback with a upside like he has, I mean, do you even want to stay?
Right.
Right. And you got aspirations, man, to go to the league.
Yeah.
If Loxley can't, and that's one of the things when you talk about like a Rudy Gay going to Maryland. Do Rudy Gay want to go play for Maryland when Gary Williams couldn't get no big guy?
Right.
And he's gonna have Rudy Gay playing in the hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he had Keith Booth down there banging.
Yeah.
And never developed his shooting guard skills. So
yeah, and that definitely stunted his growth.
It stunted his growth, man, for sure, man. And you know, if I'm in Malik Washington's shoes, or if I'm his father, and I'm looking at this thing, man, I would have to consider moving to another program.
Yeah. Yep.
I would have to consider this guy Roman Hembry, who was a star running back, and he left Maryland, man. He's over at Indiana, the number 2 team in the nation now. He's there leading Russia. That guy gonna make it in the league. Yeah. I'm not sure what would have happened if he was at Maryland.
Right.
You know, so I'm just thinking that Locksley is I think things are really starting to cave in, and this number 1 guy, you know, looking at the way Maryland playing, and he got South Carolina in his ear, probably throwing a much bigger bag at him than what Maryland can. I just don't see him hanging around to be with Maryland. If he roll out, man, I just don't think Locksley gonna be able to withstand all the stuff taking place now. So
I'm in agreement, and I just happen to think that it's over for Locksley anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be back next year, regardless of how they finish out.
Yeah. Yeah,
because of what happened previous to Indiana game.
You
know, the losses that they took before Indiana.
He was up 20-0 against Washington in the 4th quarter.
Yeah. And you can't lose that game.
Yeah, you can't lose that game, man.
Nope.
Yeah.
So Maryland, you know, big game coming up this Friday. Down in College Park too, basketball. This is a game, and I believe that this is the start of a series. I forget how many years it's going to play, but they're going, you know, home. They playing at Maryland this year. Next year they play Georgetown. Georgetown will be the home team.
Yeah.
But University of Maryland versus Georgetown. This is a matchup, a series that people really been wanting for 30, 40 years, probably longer than that. You know, with the levels that the programs were back in the 80s, you know, with Lefty and Big John, and for whatever reason, you know, all the speculation, you know, why it didn't happen, it's happening now.
Yeah.
You know, it's happening now. And I think it's big for the area, you know, that they are the 2 biggest programs, you know, in this vicinity, the DMV, if you will, the University of Maryland, and then Georgetown University, man. So big game Friday night down on College Park. I'm gonna be in the building. You know, I'm a long-time Hoya fan, so I'm going in there, you know, representing. I ain't got no Hoyas gear. I ain't that, but I will be rooting for the Hoyas Friday night. You know, so I'm looking forward to this game, man, and really to see if it can reinvigorate the area. You know, to get some of these local kids, man, to want to stay home, stay close to home, and play some college basketball. You know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this one, man. You know, I saw that. I wasn't even really paying attention to the schedule. It just popped up on my feed one day, about a week ago, that the game was coming up. And I said, let me look at some tickets. And I found a couple pretty decent tickets. I said, man, let me go ahead and grab these, and you know, I'm gonna be in the building. So yeah, that's how that came about.
And I think what you're saying, man, makes a lot of sense, though, man. It really makes a lot of sense when you think about those 2 big programs, and they both have a storied history. If you go back historically, and I think you mentioned it last week about us talking about the great Big East players, Georgetown, you know, well represented, man. When you're talking about, you know, Patrick Ewing and Allen Iverson and Reggie Williams and Mutombo, and all these tremendous players who've gone there. And then when you look at the Maryland side, and you talk about the Len Biases and the Albert Kings and the Buck Williams and all these great players. They both franchises have a storied history, and with all the talent in this area, I mean, to me, a Georgetown and a Maryland, University of Maryland, should be in the top 20 every year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these should be perennial top 20 teams, and that would add so much flavor to the area.
Yeah,
and it would hype up these two schools, and a lot of that talent would stay put. When they know they're playing for an elite program. I think Maryland. I'm not been a fan of the coaches that Maryland have hired.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching them go way back to the Lefty days. I watched them way back then, and Lefty was that guy.
Yeah,
he could recruit, man. The guy could recruit, man. I mean, he brought the Albert King. Albert King was like the #1 recruit there. He brought these guys, highly recruited guys. He brought to the program. He had Moses Malone.
Mm-hmm.
Was coming to Maryland until the ABA threw all that money at him. Big time recruiter, and somebody else I'm missing, man. That was a super big name. They was going to Maryland, but they threw that money and they wound up going pro. But if they could really, and this head up thing, this series that they're going to play, I think it's going to add to the excitement in the area. And I think it does have a real good, the potential is there for this, them playing each other every year to blossom into something really big. And maybe you can get both of these teams to become perennial top 20 programs. The potential is there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it take to make a rivalry like that explode, it take visionaries.
Yeah.
These college coaches got to be more than coaches.
They do. They do.
You pretty much got to be, on your best Academy Award-winning performances off the court.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You got to be that guy when you come in somebody's living room.
Yes.
Or when you walk in the gym, is a change in the air.
Absolutely.
I can remember you talking about Big John walking up in Morgan.
Man. Man, that was man. I mean, the thing about it was that, the game was going on. They had a lot of top high school players there. Dunbar guys was there, and a lot of chit chatter. The fans there, young people up there tripping off of this and everything, and a lot of stuff going on. Even if you didn't see him come through the door, I saw him come through the door.
Yeah.
So I was messed up immediately. But a lot of people didn't see him.
Yeah.
But a lot of people saw him. And then just the way the crowd, it was just the noise, man.
Yeah.
It was, I can't even explain what kind of noise it was, man. But it was almost kind of similar to when Mike Tyson was coming in there to fight Spanx.
Yeah.
And it was just, man, it was just, people was just, it was like Big John took his time.
Yeah.
Walking across that floor, man. He came walking across, man, at the one end of the court and just come walking across, man, just slow. Man, that was an amazing sight to experience.
Yeah.
It was amazing to see and amazing to experience to see Big John come in that gym, man. It was really mind-boggling, man. But when you talk about you need that kind of guy to handle a program in the area that's as juicy and the DMV, man, the Baltimore, Washington area is like that when it comes to that basketball.
Yeah.
And John was the guy.
Yep.
He was the guy for that. And personally, Lefty was the guy, man. Lefty talking Bo. He said, we're gonna be the UCLA of the East. He was sleeping outside in his car, waiting to catch somebody to come out their house the next morning to recruit him. Lefty was that guy. And I thought they really made a real good choice, man, by selecting Wade to come up there after the whole thing, man, because all the players, all the high school guys wanted to come to Maryland then. I mean, he had Alonzo Mourning was coming to Maryland, but when Brian Williams came, Alonzo said, damn, Brian Williams came from California.
Yeah.
and Alonzo said, damn. And they had Brian Williams ranked higher than Mourning.
Yeah.
You know, coming out of house. And so Alonzo switched up and went to Georgetown because of this Brian Williams. So you had Brian Williams, Gerard Mustaf.
Mustaf was tough.
It was tough, man. You
Walt
know?
Williams.
Yeah. All these guys coming, man, you know, coming to Maryland, man. Rudy Archer, you know, came over there, man. I mean, this thing was and a lot, and they give Gary Williams all the credit of turning around the program. But no, Bob Wade had them in the tournament.
Yeah, they forget that.
They forget that.
They forget that. Or you know, they don't want to talk about it.
They don't talk about it.
They don't talk about it.
Talk about it.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about it.
That's lost in history.
But that happened.
That happened. And they gave Wichita a run for their money. Kentucky,
yeah.
Who would ultimately become the national champions that year. So, you know,
No, they lost. They didn't win it that year.
They didn't win it that year with what's his name?
Yeah, Kansas won it.
Who won it?
Kansas.
Kansas won it that year.
Amen.
Yeah, man. That Maryland team showed, man, Keith Gatlin, Rudy Archer, Mustaf, Brian Williams. You know, them boys were balling, man. The future was so bright.
Yep.
Yeah.
The great, you know, again, it's the right person. You know,
Right.
And again, Gary Williams, man, you know, we've had some conversations about Gary Williams. I know he is beloved
Yeah.
in this area.
Yeah.
And he got Maryland to the promised land.
Yeah, they won it.
They won the national championship.
Yeah.
And Gary is a hell of a coach. You know what I'm saying? But it was clear, you know, recruiting wise, he just didn't like to recruit. And he wasn't, you know, with the big names.
No, man.
The big name guys that did come to Maryland, it just didn't ever pan out.
Yeah. I wasn't a real big Gary Williams fan. I mean, admittingly, I wasn't a big Gary Williams fan, but there's no way that you can get around the fact that he won a national championship.
Yeah.
And there's no way you can get around that he made it to the Final Four 2 years in a row with that team. Real sad that he blew that Duke game the previous year.
Yeah.
When they were up
Yeah.
by some big points in that game, and Duke came back and knocked them off. But thank goodness he came back the next year and they won it. I mean, I just it was just certain things that he did that rubbed me wrong. First of all, he was not a good recruiter. And I didn't even think that he even had people around him that when they walk into a gym that people would be, you know, shaken, like, because they don't walk in the gym to recruit them.
Yeah.
And I remember when he had the guy, what's his name? Mike Jones or Mike Lloyd or
Michael Jones.
Michael Jones. He was the number 2 rated shooting guard behind LeBron James when he came out, and they, you know, they had them dunk contests and 3-point contests. The guy was a shooter, man, and he won the high school 3-point shooting competition.
Yeah.
Gary Williams wouldn't put him on the floor because he said that he didn't play defense.
Yeah.
But you know, man, but as a coach, now he said the guy couldn't play defense good enough. The guy was a pure shooter and a four, and as the second highest rated shooting guard next to LeBron James, man, you have to make that guy successful.
Yeah.
You have to make him successful.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear no shit about he can't stay on the floor because he can't play defense.
Right.
Do you know how many kids was hyped about this dude?
Yeah.
How many people around the nation was looking at this guy, the number 2 shooting guard behind LeBron, and he don't put the man out on the floor? I mean, look, man, you know, that's foolishness right there. And so I wasn't a Gary Williams fan, and I definitely the next guy they brought in, Turgeon. No. Now I never liked to hire the guy they got from that went to Villanova, left him in the cold.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember his name. His name ain't even worth mentioning.
No, he ain't even worth it.
Yeah, ain't worried about him. So now I'm sitting back and I'm looking at Buzz Williams. You know, so I'm hoping that he can do some stuff. You know, I still just looking at him from the little bit of time that I've seen him. To me, he don't fit the kind of guy that I think would be real successful as a Maryland coach. I just think you just need somebody. You said it, on the floor and off the floor.
Yeah.
When there ain't no games, when he out there in the community, he got to have connections with the AAU. He got to be known. He got to be dynamic, man. This area, man, when it comes to basketball, is super dynamic. What the fuck is Mark Turgeon gonna do in this area?
Right.
What the hell is he gonna do in this area, man? He did just what he did. Nothing, man.
Nothing, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on, man. Let's get this going on.
You gotta be, you know, you gotta be dynamic, right? And I know a lot of people ain't going to like this one, but it's why Deion Sanders is able to do the things he's done. And see, Deion is doing it at an advanced age for coaches. Most coaches come in young, the young hot coach.
Right.
You know, Deion is pushing 60 years old. You know, so he's not going to be around forever.
Exactly.
You know, he's not going to have a 20, 30-year coaching career, you know, but he brought some excitement.
Absolutely.
You know, he brought a level of excitement to both programs, that the truth be told, Jackson State and Colorado. And he was big enough personality to really take the bullets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He take the bullets when things go bad. You can point the finger at him, and it don't bother him.
Bother him, man.
It don't bother him, man. And see, that's when I hear, you know, when I hear Allen Iverson talk about Big John, you know, how Big John just protected them. He took all the bullets for, and allowed AI and Patrick Ewing and Reggie Williams and all them guys just to be ball players. You know, I can take it. You know, you want to criticize me, but because I can give it back. You know, so I brought up AI because I'm all over the place tonight. Have you had opportunity to see his documentary?
I haven't watched it yet.
When he said,
you watched it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay.
When he said his dream when he was a junior in high school, he was the number one basketball and football player, you know.
Unreal.
Being recruited by every school all across the nation.
Right.
He wanted to go to the University of Maryland and play basketball with Joe Smith.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
Wow.
You know, him and Joe Smith played AAU together.
I remember.
And he said the only reason that at that time the Maryland football program wasn't big enough. You know, he said, if all things was, if he never got in the trouble that he got in and would have been able to play his senior year football and all the recruiting didn't stop and all that, he said he would have went to Notre Dame to play football and basketball.
And basketball, yeah.
But can you imagine?
Can you imagine
Iverson at the University of Maryland, man?
Can you imagine?
Goodness great. AI, Joe Smith.
And the thing is what I was hearing is that people were going to watch them AAU games to check out Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
And that's when they discovered Joe Smith.
Joe Smith, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because I remember his very first college game was against my Hoyas. Joe Smith, I didn't know who Joe Smith was. I watched the game. I wanted to see Keith Booth shine.
Man, yeah. Yeah, that was the thought.
Him and Turk came in there together.
Man.
And that boy showed off down the Capitol Center, man.
Oh, man. Oh, man. What was that center for Georgetown at the time?
Othello Harrington.
Othello Harrington, man. Oh, my
Gave
God.
him the blues.
Oh, man.
Gave him the blues.
I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't either.
I couldn't believe it, man, because he kept making these shots. I was thinking he was going to cool off and he was going to start missing.
Yeah.
But he kept going.
And it didn't stop for 2 years.
And he never stopped.
You know what? I'm going to have to pull that one up. I'm going to see if I can find that one on YouTube.
That was amazing.
That was a classic.
That was a classic, man.
That was a classic.
And the thing is a lot of people don't understand that we were able to experience, if you were an ACC fan, we were able to experience the ACC when Joe Smith was there with Tim Duncan down at Wake Forest and Rasheed Wallace down there in North Carolina.
And he was destroying both of them.
I mean, it was an amazing time, man. All three of them guys went to the league. All three of them guys had nice careers. I mean, but this Joe Smith dude.
I met Joe Smith too.
Unbelievable.
I met him right after he got drafted.
Yeah.
He was up. Charlie Rudo was up Mondawmin.
Okay.
I just happened to be up there that day. Kenny was about 3 weeks old. Little son, my son was 3 weeks old, man. We went up there to get his pictures taken up there. The Sears up there, I think. One of them little stores up there, we took the pictures.
Yeah.
And his mother took him to do the pictures. I went on, walking around the mall. I went in Rudo's. I said, "Oh, that's Joe."
Oh, Joe.
He taking pictures. I said, "Oh, let me go get my son."
Yeah.
He 3 weeks old.
Yeah.
But I got a picture, me, Joe.
Okay.
And little Kenny. Yeah, I still got it.
Yeah.
You know, he signed the basketball for me. He signed the picture. You know, he playing with the baby. You know, we chopped it up for a minute. Not long, but a little short conversation. But yeah, you know.
That was some good years, man, down there in Maryland, man. Joe
Yes,
had
sir.
him and Keith Booth down there.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
time.
Not your average Joe is what they used to say.
Yeah. they were trying to come up with names. They were calling them Bazooka Joe. All kind of little stuff, man. But he was getting them buckets. He was putting up numbers, man. He was a phenomenon, really.
His 2 years at Maryland.
Yeah.
You put them 2 years up against anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
And the guy went number one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
Overall number one NBA draft.
And I wasn't no big Steve Francis fan.
Right.
You know, I had my reasons. He was a hell of a ball player. I had my reasons for not.
Yeah.
Being a fan of his or whatever. But
did he just do 1 year?
he did 1 year.
1 year, yeah.
He did 1 year in Maryland.
Yeah.
And his 1 year was okay.
Yeah.
He put up some numbers. He had some exciting plays, and
Yeah.
you know, he was a fan favorite for sure.
Yeah, no question.
You know, but those guys, man, at Maryland, you know, really took the program up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Joe did it at a level, and I think Joe's run, because we didn't know who he was. You know, because he kind of came out of nowhere. You know, and he blew up to a level, man. Like you said, he became the number one pick.
Overall number one.
You know, he was the number one overall pick, man, in the NBA draft.
Yeah.
You know, from just 2 years ago, he was an unknown. You know, truthfully.
Right.
And Keith Booth was the big prize in that class.
Surprise, man.
You know, but hey,
Duke went at him heavy.
yeah, I remember Coach K being down Dunbar.
When Coach K was at Dunbar recruiting Keith Booth heavy.
Yeah. Think about that on Orleans Street.
Right. Exactly.
Coach K was on Orleans Street.
Orleans Street.
Watching some basketball.
In the hood.
Come on, man. It's a great time to be watching some high school basketball. And I went to a lot of games back then.
Yeah.
You know, I saw some dudes, man, the Brights, Booth, Michael Lloyd, you know, Scooter Alexander, let that Dunbar run.
Yeah.
You know, Trent Simpson down Southern, Damon Cason, them boys, man. Devin Gray, my guy, rest in peace, down St. Francis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man, it just was a who's who of high school basketball, man. Really
unreal, man. Unreal.
And you know, I'm gonna bring some people on, man. We talk about some Baltimore basketball history because there's a lot of it.
It is a lot.
It's a lot of it, you know. And I want to get some of that stuff talked about up here on the podcast, on the Sports Mix. So, yeah, great, wrap it on up.
Sure. Yes,
another Tuesday edition. So, you know, Sunday Ravens head off to Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Might be snowing up there this time of year.
Never know.
Good thing they got a dome.
Right.
You know.
Lamar might have to put his long johns on. That's right. You got the dome up there now.
They got the dome. So,
right.
You know, they might have to, I don't know, you know, with that weather.
Right.
I know it's going to be cold up there. I know that.
Yeah.
They're talking about it might be some weather here. At least freezing. Temperature's going to drop.
Yeah, well, we up in November now, so they're going to be coming.
Yeah.
Back in the day, before you go to Minnesota, back in the Bud Grant days with Fran Tarkenton, the Purple People Eaters, and all them up there, you going to freeze.
Yeah, they played outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, we great wrap this one up, man. It's been a good flow, you know, talking about a little bit of everything. You know, we mixed it up a little bit today.
Yeah, no doubt.
So appreciate everybody for tuning in. Check us out next Tuesday, 9-ish. You know, 9-ish. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be back next Tuesday. You know, make sure y'all liking, commenting, sharing. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Check us out. You know, I'll be putting other stuff up on the YouTube page throughout the week. You know, little videos, a little commentary on different things. So, you know, support the brother. Trying to grow this platform, man. Looking to take the show on the road as well in 2026. It sounds funny even saying that. 2026.
Right. 26.
You know, but yeah,
right we
great close out 25. And great get into 26, man, with you know, some new and improved sports mix topics and
absolutely,
you know, the flow and you know,
yes,
coming on and everything, man. So it's been a blast. I'll tell you that. It's been a blast. You know, we just hit year 4. So we into year 4 right now, man. Year 4 of doing this. And like I say, just taking it to the next level. You know, next level. We you know, had to learn some things in this first 4 years and hitting into year 5, man. I just wanna, you know, take it to a whole nother level. So, you know, I appreciate everybody, support everybody checking us out. You know, the comments, the back and forth we have, you know, watching the show and people that's, you know, commenting in the groups and all that stuff, man. I appreciate everybody. So I'll just be rambling if I keep talking. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this puppy on up.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes, sir.
we'll be rapping.
No
You know,
question.
let's pull for a dub on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Go Ravens.
Old Ravens.
Go Ravens, man. And
Eyes back.
yeah. You get this, you know, let's stack these dubs up
Yeah. Yeah.
and keep it pushing.
Yeah, keep it. You know, don't look. Don't give up on these Ravens, man. When you got number 8 back there, now, come on. Now, if this boy number 8 run the gamut from here on out, I mean, come on. The potential is there.
It's there.
It's there,
It's
man.
there.
So let's stick with our Ravens, man, and push through, and let's see these guys make the playoffs. I think they can do it.
They got it.
It ain't gonna be easy, but they can do it. They got number 8.
One game at a time.
One at a time.
One at a time. Peace. Peace.